Hi guys, so we are back on another vlog with Spiritual Marie, and I'm just hoping that you guys are really enjoying my channel and my vlogging. This is just stuff that it should be aware, it should be known all around the world, but a lot of us aren't, introduced to these kind of tools to live a happier and peaceful and serene life. So I hope this is really helping you all. And so this vlog today is going to be about hypothyroidism, or hypothyroidism. Throughout the years of just going through lots of stress on my body and so forth, I never in a million years thought I would ever suffer from a hypothyroid. And I've always been really healthy. I've always ate really healthy. I prep my meals every week. I exercise at least 5 to 6 days a week. At one point I just thought, okay, there's something really going on with my body. So with hypothyroidism, I was never aware of, even the symptoms. I've heard of thyroid issues, but never in a million years I thought I would suffer from this. So I want to share with you guys a little bit of how it began for me and how it started. Obviously this year has been so rough on me physically and mentally and spiritually and emotionally. And the beginning of the year, I did lose my father to suicide, as you all know, and it really came down on me so heavy, and I didn't realize that stress and alcoholism and just not being healthy anymore and just putting everything to a stop really would create something like a hypothyroid. As the months went on and as I started to progress this anxiety and depression and all this, I just thought it was a result of losing my father and not being able to really deal with the emotion and cope with it. But all along, it was my hypothyroid. So as you all know too, I do work with a personal trainer, Pierre Patton, which is the husband of my life coach, Taylor Patton. And for a while we were just like talking about, why am I not losing weight? But, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, I have a glass of wine every night. On the weekends, I drink to get buzzed because I'm so depressed and I'm thinking of my dad and I have, all this just emotion going on in me. So, and both of us had thought, he realized, what, you are just not in it. We're just going to keep you at a good level and so forth. But I prep my meals every week. I make sure that I eat healthy every week. So I started to gain weight like rapidly. I mean, I gained like this extra layer on my stomach, and it just was something that even my fiance would say, "What's going on?" We do still work out every day. We do still try to keep a healthy lifestyle. Sure, it took off a few months in the beginning of the year, but I still kept my training with my trainer. And so with that said, I was finally just at that breaking point where I looked at my trainer and I said, there's something else. So I went to my gynecologist because I was having, a lot of menstrual issues. My sex drive wasn't the same, and so forth. It just, all this stuff started building up. And never in a million years I would have thought I was hypothyroid. So my gynecologist, we did blood tests, we did pap smears, we did all this crazy stuff, and nothing came up. I was normal. We thought I had tumors going on in my uterus and all this crazy stuff because of my menstrual was so heavy. And I was on my menstrual for like 3 months, and it was just so crazy. But at the end of it, we all just figured it was stress because I just was going through so much with losing my father to suicide. And so I kind of just lived with it and ignored it. But I had joined my wonderful fiance, bless his heart. He's been dealing with my crazy ass all year long. And we had went to the Hamptons to celebrate his 40th birthday. And it was then when I knew that there was something else. There was something wrong, like physically and mentally wrong with what was going on with my body. I started developing sweats in the middle of the night. I was very shaky. My hands and my feet were always really, really cold. My skin started to become extra dry, and I started to just break out into these dry spurts everywhere, and just And so we both thought, maybe we're in the humidity and we're in the Hamptons, it's summertime, So again, I'm still trying, well, not we, my fiance and I was still trying to make excuses for what was going on with me. But deep down in my heart and in my mind, in my body, I was thinking, no, this isn't right. Like, I woke up with heavy breathing and my heart was racing and just fatigue and muscle weakness and, insomnia. The list goes on of having hypothyroid. So I finally came home from the Hamptons. We still had a beautiful time. I mean, I covered it up. I just wrote it out for what it was, and it was horrible. It was a horrible experience. I wanted to enjoy my time, but I couldn't because I was just going through all of this crazy anxiety, anxious feeling, and it was just horrible. I mean, I was with my beautiful family and my fiance. We even went and visited a friend in New York, and it was just our favorite city in the world, where we got engaged, and I just was not enjoying it because of what was going on in here and in here. So, we came home, and I went and saw my trainer, and I'm like, listen, there's something going on. So, and I actually met with my life coach as well, and she had mentioned to go see a natural MD. This doctor that was introduced to me by my life coach. So I went and made an appointment with him, and my fiance came with me. We both went to get checked. My fiance is really into the whole natural healing stuff. So he joined me, which was the brightest idea because he got to sit in the doctor's office with me and hear from the doctor that I wasn't some crazy witch that all of a sudden fell off the wagon and turned into some psychopath, that turned into some crying baby, that hated life, that just started like deteriorating little by little. With that said, right away my blood test came back and my doctor came to me and he said, whoa, your thyroid levels are way off. So he put me on supplements, and they're called Nature Throid. So and with thyroid, if you have a good MD and if you really have somebody that cares, as far as your doctor, and really just becomes part of your team and becomes part of like your helper and your guidance. This doctor in particular, his name is Dr. Jace, and he's located in North Hollywood. So yes, we're in the month of January 2017, and I went and saw him the end of September, and dealing from January into September, not knowing what was going on with my body, and coping with that anxiety and weight gain and depression and losing all my confidence, was just like, wow, I cannot believe I waited that long. And it wasn't that I actually waited, it's because my gynecologist was telling me, who I have all my trust in, that I was fine, and that what was going on with me was just something emotional. And and finally it came down to just breaking down to my life coach, and she referred me to this doctor, and he came down to, oh, it's all about your hypothyroid. That is why you're feeling the way you are. And so he kept really close he kept a really close eye on me and how I was progressing with these supplements. It actually even came down to my liver being inflamed, which it still is. I'm still, under care for that, and just all this stuff just really affects your body when you're going through this traumatic time in your life. So it's really important to pay attention to yourself. It's so important to really listen to your body. And if you see stuff happening and you were like, whoa, this isn't right, this has never happened before, go see a different doctor if your doctor is not saying whatever it is. Because, at one point I'm thinking, okay, is this like the new me? Is this something that I'm just starting? Is this like a new bad habit that I'm creating? No, it was going on in my body. And all along, my other doctors were telling me that I was just fine and that I was just something I had to get over. And so it was just such a sigh of relief for me to finally meet a natural MD that just pulled out all of this info out of my blood work and was like, you got this, and it's time to fix it. So I am, let's see, I don't know, 3 to 4 months into controlling my hypothyroidism, and I feel like $1,000,000 again. I am losing my weight little by little. Before I developed this hypothyroidism, I was 12 to 15 pounds lighter than I am now. And I'm only 5'0". I'm 5 foot tall. Like, are you serious? That shows on me so much. So, I'm still on the path of losing weight and controlling and so forth. So, the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because even sitting down with my MD and really connecting with him, Dr. Jace, he even referred to me to continue doing meditation, continue, doing my journaling and affirmations. All of that, even my natural MD even said to do, because with hypothyroidism, there's still times where, you don't feel like you're not in control. But, I went on vacation and I missed a couple of days of my supplements. And I don't know if it was like a mental thing or whatever, but I started to feel the symptoms come back. But with the control that I have created and the new great habits that I have with journaling, affirmations, and saging, I was okay for those 2 days, after the holiday, and I lived without my supplements for a couple of days. But picking them up yesterday was like, I feel better, I feel energized, everything's back to normal again. So it's just, look, it's really important, everybody, if you're watching, especially females out there, if there's something going on, with your menstrual, with how you feel, with your sex drive, whatever it may be, and you just know in your right mind that there's something that's not connecting right in your body and you feel different, you feel outside of your body, you need to make sure to make the call. And, I am more than happy to share my doctor's info with you. If you are in the LA area, he's amazing. I hug him, I thank him. I am just so thankful that, the universe brought me to him. I mean, just looking back on my life and really seeing the path and how, my universe, my God has sent me to all these people. It was all for a reason. And everything happens for a reason. I've been seeing my life coach for years, but finally I opened up and she started to see, and my trainer, they started to see what was going on with me. And they're like, okay, you need to go see somebody else. You need to see a doctor, because I just started deteriorating little by little. So, it's the best feeling when you have that control back in your life. And like I said, even taking my hypothyroid supplements, I make sure that I practice every single day the tools that I have shared with you in my prior blogs, saging, journaling, and affirmations, because all of these connect in a way where it does help you keep that control. It does help you cope with what's going on internally in your body and in your mind. And it's just so important to put you first and to make sure that you're listening to yourself. And, it's a big risk. I took a big risk of even losing my future husband, because he was just like, what is going on with you? Get a hold of yourself. And I was just thinking like, oh my God, I am really becoming some psychopath witch. But it wasn't that. It wasn't my fault. It was something going on in here. And I finally was led to the right person. So I hope that this leads you to the answers that you've been looking for. And please let me know, guys. I really want to hear your feedback and your comments. And, this year, 2017, is going to be a great year, not only for me, but for everybody around me. And if you're watching, I pray it is for you too, because I want this to help you, and I want this to guide you, and I want this to be something that you could bring home to not only you, but your children, your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad. I even have my mom doing saging and journaling and affirmations, because her too, she had some traumatic stuff happen to her after losing her husband, my father, to suicide. And, it's just really important to listen to your body and continue to make sure that you put you first, because at the end of the day, this is all we have, and we need to make sure that we cherish it and we nourish it and we protect it. So again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment, email me at spiritualmarie3@gmail.com. And I can't wait to my next video. The next one actually is going to be about vision boards, which is so important to set the year off right. And I am so excited. I love you guys. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking, and thank you for following me on Instagram. And I hope this helps you guys. God bless.